Hi everyone, here on this Wednesday, Jason and Alicia with you on this humid start to this morning.
Incredibly humid, but great shot of the moon once again. It's the last day, Ben, too, right? That we're going to see the moon this full until the end of the month?
That's right, yeah. The full moon officially, I think, was at about midnight this morning. The next full moon not until the end of the month. That would make it a blue moon. The moon will not actually be blue, however. Hey, this morning we're watching out for the potential for some dense areas of fog. An updated map shows Princeton about a quarter-mile visibility. Low-lying areas seeing that, especially areas well north of the Twin Cities. You head north of Rush City up I-35. You might run into that on your way to Pine City, Hinckley, and up towards the Duluth area. That's the biggest weather story this morning. Right now, as Jason mentioned, it is warm and humid outside with dew points already in the mid-60s. It's going to be feeling like the heat of summer right now. You can see temperatures near 90 by this afternoon with the heat index pushing into the mid-90s. We'll talk about when the heat breaks, and we'll time out some thunderstorm chances with your full forecast coming up. First, let's get a look at your traffic with Megan.
Hey, good morning. Here's some of that fog that Ben was talking about. So this is in East Bethel. You can see right up here towards the top of the screen there. Quite a bit of fog this morning, as he mentioned, areas north of the Twin Cities, Aiken, McGregor, Brainerd, just a few to name there this morning. Drive times are looking really good, looking at 169 right now. From 694 to 394, about a 7-minute commute. And then along 169 from about 494 to 394, again, another 7-minute commute. Jason and Alicia.
All right, Megan, thank you very much. Turning to our top story here, the 12 minutes of newly released video showing how a traffic stop on I-94 Monday morning turned deadly.
Yeah, there's been a lot of developments in the last 12 hours that we need to catch you up on. And CC's live at the State Patrol headquarters. CC, you watched the video, the entire video. What can you tell us about it?
Hi, good morning. Well, as you mentioned just hours ago, DPS did release both body cam and squad car footage from that fatal shooting. There are 4 separate videos that span 12 minutes showing everything that led up to the shooting. Take a look. Around 2 a.m. Monday, the State Patrol says a trooper stopped Ricky Cobb on I-94 for not having taillights. After learning Cobb was wanted in Ramsey County for a felony order of protection violation, 3 troopers then approached his Ford Fusion together.
How you doing, my man?
The State Patrol says the troopers had a request to do a pickup and hold on Cobb, but they didn't tell him what it was for.
Okay.
Hold on, is it a warrant?
No, it's not a warrant. I need you to step out there.
Hold on.
I'll explain it all out when you get out of the car.
Hold on.
Less than a minute later,
Get out of the car. Get out of the car now!
although body camera videos didn't clearly capture the sound of gunshots, the dash camera video did. The State Patrol says the shots came from the trooper on the passenger side. Meanwhile, the trooper from the driver's side ran back to his squad car.
Ah, I just got dragged.
All 3 troopers drove after Cobb on the highway,
Q for pursuit with shots fired.
but he was not responsive when they got to the car, and you can see them pull Cobb out of the car and continue CPR.
Hey, stay with me, man.
That video tough to watch and traumatizing, I'm sure, for a lot of folks, but important that we show it to show what happened out there. Cece, is there any word on if charges will be filed?
Well, first, the BCA needs to wrap up its investigation, and then Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty says that she'll make a decision about possible charges as soon as possible. Jason, Alicia.
All right, Cece, thanks for that update and that breakdown of the video for sure. In the last 10 hours, dozens came together in North Minneapolis near where that shooting happened. They marched through traffic to honor Cobb and push for answers in his killing. It's been an emotional 48 hours, understandably so, for Cobb's family. This morning, they're calling for all of the unedited footage before and after the shooting to be released. They viewed the video before it was made public yesterday. Here's what Cobb's mom said after watching it.
I'm confused. I'm speechless. And I'm very hurt.
Now, several activists also spoke. They believe troopers should have de-escalated the situation.
The city of St. Paul will pay the family of Cordell Handy $11.5 million after a federal jury found one police officer civilly liable for his death in 2017. The jury says Officer Nathaniel Younts violated Cordell's constitutional rights and used excessive force. Authorities were responding to a domestic call when Handy was shot. Officers say While following Handy, he pointed a gun at an officer twice before being shot 7 times. But Handy's girlfriend testified he dropped his gun already, and a forensic pathologist testified that it was highly unlikely Handy was holding a gun when he was shot by police. Another officer was found not liable. Ramsey County declined to criminally prosecute Younce and another officer involved in the shooting. Now, St. Paul's Mayor Melvin Carter reacted to the jury's civil decision, sending his condolences to Handy's family, but going on to say he was surprised by the finding of liability and magnitude of damages awarded by them. He went on to say, quote, "In reviewing the details of the case, I simply cannot conclude that those involved had other reasonable options to immediately resolve the escalating crisis and prevent further loss of life without force."
This morning, there could be more long lines outside Minnesota's first recreational pot dispensary on the Red Lake Reservation. Take a look at the line of people outside of Native Care yesterday morning. It's the only place right now you can buy pot in Minnesota. Tribal governments don't have to wait for the state's licensing system, which might not actually happen until the year 2025. Leaders expect the dispensary will bring in millions of dollars within months, a lot of which will be invested back into the community.
There's a lot of needs. You know, everyone thinks because there's tribal gaming, that means a lot of money. So what that means is we need a lot of help for our hospitals, our elders, our schools, our clinics.
Native Care first opened as a medical cannabis dispensary back in February and now sells 12 different strands.
6:07 on the clock, and this morning we're learning former President Donald Trump will be back in court tomorrow after being charged with a third indictment. This one for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 general election, which culminated in the January 6 riots at the Capitol. The indictment accuses the former president of lying about election results and conspiring with others to try to change vote totals, even though he allegedly knew they were valid.
As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
Now, Trump responded to the indictment on his social media site, Truth Social, calling it fake. He's also facing criminal charges in New York and Florida. And the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, says her office is preparing to make charging decisions this month in their probe into the 2020 election.
Well, if you're a hunter, listen to this. The DNR is making some changes to this year's deer season, so here's what you need to know. Come fall, there will be lower harvest limits in northeastern and north central Minnesota. You'll also only be able to use non-toxic ammo in certain areas. If you use a ground blind, it now has to have blaze orange on top. Some restrictions have loosened, like crossbow hunting, which is now open to anyone regardless of age or physical ability. We have a full list of all of the changes posted right now at KARE11.com.
Coming on.